Dope.
All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm Flynn of Student Involvement. I'm here with Game Room Supervisor. I'm proud to say Game Room Supervisor Chris Pena,
What's up?
aka Flash. I'm always late, never early. And I'm also here with Game Room employee and digital media specialist, G-Day Caxton.
Hey, what's up?
It's all right, fellas. As G-Day changes his background. All right, fellas. So we got a few things on the agenda today that I wanted to talk about and get your opinions on. We're gonna be talking about Justice League Apocalypse. Just came out. I mean, it came out a little while ago. I just saw it. That's why I feel like it just came out. We're also going to talk about comic book movies, and yeah, I want to end it on some game room talk. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. First off, I want to get y'all's opinion on Justice League Apocalypse War. Chris, what did you think about
Okay, so I'm just going off of right now. I saw it a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna just say I'm not the freshest on everything, but my immediate thoughts were, it's a solid movie. I think all the animated movies are pretty solid. They're pretty good. Um, but I'll just say for me, the whole like animated, like all of them, I'm not really a fan of that art style particularly. So I think that kind of like takes me out of it sometimes when I'm watching these movies. Just because it's like when you're reading a comic book, if you don't really like the artist, it kind of messes up the experience. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if that affects anything.
it?
Um, let's see what else. Voice actors, I thought for the most part they were good. Like the guy who does Constantine, I think is the guy who actually acts him out in live action, so that was pretty dope. I think most of them were cool, but I forgot. I think it was Darkseid was the one that I kind of had a problem with, and just because like for me, I pictured Darkseid to be like a really, really like deep, menacing voice, and his voice was not that. It was a little too high pitched for me, so I was like, oh, it wasn't as menacing for me to be honest. So, um, what else? What else? Other thoughts? I think we got to see some cool things, So not to it's just all negative, but like that fight, obviously at the end, spoiler alert. I'm assuming everyone has seen it, but if not, I don't know if but the end fight where like Trigon's fighting Darkseid, I thought that was pretty dope because it's like I don't think we've seen that before, in comics. So I thought the fight itself, the concept was pretty dope. Doom Parademons is a pretty cool concept. Just melting kryptonite to make bullets and guns and swords, teeth, all that stuff. That's pretty dope. So it had some pretty cool concepts in it. For me, also, overall, I think a lot of people hyped it up also before I watched it. So that might have, I don't want to say ruined it, but might have messed it up a little bit for me because people were saying, like, oh man, this is the greatest animated film. This is one of the greatest DC films. This is like the end game for DC. And I was like, uh, for me, I didn't really get that experience. I just thought like, it's a solid movie. I thought it was okay. So I think that's just my overall opinion on it is like it's solid, maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10 movie. Uh, yeah. And I guess as we talk, we might get into more little details, but those are the big things for me. So
Okay, okay. Chris, very insightful. I use the word insightful, but I really mean is critical, very critical of DC movies. But G-Day, what are your thoughts about the movie? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
First things first, this movie is rated R, and that's different from Flashpoint up until now. Everything was usually PG-13. So they dropped these F bombs like a mug, bro. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, oh shit. Overall, the movie was really good. I enjoyed it right up until the very end because spoiler alert, they made this nigga the Flash do it all over again. They told,
Flash.
they, they told him to basically recreate the Flashpoint and start this universe over. And it's been about, I think Flashpoint came out in 2013, so it's been almost a decade that people have been watching these movies. So like for me personally, for that to be the end where you just reset everything that happens, like really, bro. Like, well, before the end, everything I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the fights. I enjoyed seeing a vulnerable Superman. If and I I got to see Batman in the Mobius chair. I really enjoyed that. Out of Sham. but yeah, those were the highlights for me that I really enjoyed the movies. I enjoyed all these movies, and then this was, yes, Chris, this was the end game. This was it. This was the end game for the animated universe. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks because like when you the reason that I'm kind of upset that it ended that way is because what we have in theaters, like the live action movies, I'd rather have these movies and have the live actions go straight to DVD. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that because my next question was going to be, do you feel like they should put more focus into the animated universe and animated movies versus the live action movies?
Like, it's like, yeah, most definitely because DC shows, those live action shows, those are good. Their animated movies are good. All you got to do is make the switch, put live action on DVD, and if it gains enough traction, like they started off on the DC EU with Man of Steel. That was a solid movie. Um, and then everything else, doo doo. So it was there was there was nothing else until like Shazam and Aquaman, in my opinion at least. I didn't watch Wonder Woman, so people say that was a good movie. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But like you had for the animated universe, you had 7 years of consistency that was solid, sometimes even great movies. And like actually, yeah, that's basically it. Like there's nothing else to say really. That's those are the facts. There's really I feel like if any DC fan would agree with me that the live action movies aren't like they have a higher budget, but they produce lower quality. And I don't know if that's because it's live action, because like with Marvel, right? Not everybody in the MCU has powers, so it's much easier to I guess create what is more realistic, even though it's completely unrealistic. Versus DC, where you have the Flash running super fast. Only actually the only normal people are Green Arrow and Batman, and Green Arrow's like, you know, he's there. So I think it's they have the higher budget, but it's the thing. I think it's because it's live action that they don't perform as well as the MCU has. But I feel like if they put more into the animated movies, they they would they would make a higher gross. The budget if the budget's bigger, like a live action, I feel like they would blow the box office numbers out of the water, especially on opening weekend.
That's a bold take. That's a bold take. Chris, what about you?
I kind of agree there with like where you're saying they've been putting more emphasis and effort into like the live action movies, or at least I hope it doesn't always show. But I think it's just like the animated movies, in my opinion, and I don't know any better, but in my mind, they don't take as much to make as like a real movie. Like, you could just get voice actors. You don't have to worry about, is Ben Affleck going to come back for the next movie? I just feel like it's less effort, not in a bad way. It's just like they're easier to make. I just think that I don't know if this is how it currently is, but they need to keep like the two separate. Like, why can't you put equal emphasis on both? Because I feel like it's just so low maintenance to make these movies, and like they come out good and solid. So keep making them. Keep that team keep that same energy to keep making movies like that. Don't like, I don't know, take money away from that or discredit that just to, make the movies more successful. I think they should put more emphasis. If anything, I would say if I had to choose, I would say put more on the movies just because they've been lacking in quality for some reason. And all of the animated movies have been, generally in consensus. Like everyone's like, yeah, they're good, they're great. At the very least, they're solid. So I don't know. I guess you could say like market it more. Maybe I think that's what you're saying, G. Like maybe put more emphasis in terms of like, try to market it more and make it more of a big thing. That could be cool. I can't really think of that because I don't really see too many animated movies at like the movie theater aside from like Shrek and Pixar, like things like that. But like I don't see Marvel movies or Dark Horse animated movies, so I think it'd be different to see that if they started putting like more of that effort and trying to make it like a big production. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I agree too. I feel like they should take that. They should take the thing with the animated movies is it seems that they take more risks. Like Apocalypse War is a risk. That's a huge risk that you just won't see in a live action movie. Like we'll have to see how the Snyder Cut turns out because I was hearing a lot of comparisons between Zack Snyder's original vision for Justice League and how Apocalypse War came out. But I feel like the animated movies have better writing, they take more risks, and you just connect with the characters more. Like the characters seem more comic accurate, they seem more relatable. Like they did a great job. If you watched all the Batman movies, which I did, unfortunately there weren't any Green Lantern movies, so I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? But if you watch like all the Batman movies, you can really see the story arc of, Batman's relationship with Damian Wayne and with the Bat family. And it all just kind of comes to a head in Apocalypse War. And you guys remember the scene, spoiler alert again, but at this point, it's everything's spoiled. But the scene where, Batman has the flashback of Martha and like his parents getting killed. And he looks at Damian and then, a few scenes later, Damian jumps in front of, I don't know if it wasn't a bullet. It was
Wasn't it the beams? I think.
Yeah, it was the beams. Yeah, he jumps in front of the beams. That scene got me, and it's because I had a connection with these characters. Like I didn't expect Robin to do that. You know what I mean? He's bumped heads with Batman for so long over the course of these movies that you wouldn't really expect that. But when he did it, it took you. It just caught me off guard, and I feel like Apocalypse War itself kept me on my toes because I didn't know what was going to happen. And like you said, G-Day, with the rated R, I feel like that took this movie to another level. Like this movie wouldn't have been as effective if it was PG-13. Like think about if Infinity War and Endgame was rated R and it could really show what Thanos was about. It could really show the destruction and the evil that Thanos was. That it changes the tone of the movie. It increases the tension and just like the risk, and there's more payoff. Like you actually want to, even though things are going to be okay at the end of the day, just when you see your favorite heroes getting murdered and massacred, it's like, whoa, like this is serious. This is a real threat. They're not just getting beat up, like they're dying. And so many characters died in this movie that, it caught me off guard. Like it caught me completely off guard. When the movie started, I was like, okay, we're in this. The plan is set. We know where we're going. And then the flashback or the flash forward, I guess you would say. And it's like, I just feel like the movie, it was a great movie. Unlike Chris, who's very critical. It's funny because we're always on the opposite sides of opinions. He says it's a 6. I say it's a 10. It's a borderline. To me, it's a borderline the best DC movie of all time. I rank it up there with Joker, and I feel like it's because it did. Yeah, I rank it up there. I got to, but I feel like it's for the same reasons why I rank it up there with Joker. Like Joker was a different movie. It was a different take on superheroes. It was a different take on. It took a character and it made it into something that. Well, I don't want to talk too much about Joker, but it was different. It was different. It took risks. It took chances. And Apocalypse War, I feel like was the equivalent of if a DC movie did everything right. And I feel like it did everything right, besides maybe the ending, but it did everything right besides that, at least in my opinion. And I don't feel like we could ask for anything more from a live version. But
you can't get that. You can't get that same feeling from a live version.
you can't, not from live action. But let's go into let's take this into a new direction, but staying on the same topic. So while we're on the topic of movies, comic book movies, what comic or comics would you guys like to see adapted into a live action movie? I will go first. G-Day has an idea. I'll go first. Chris, we've talked about this numerous times, but for me, there's two. There's Injustice.
Oh, this man.
Injustice. You're gonna have to build to it, of course. You'd have to build to it. But Injustice and Doomsday Clock. I feel like if those were executed perfectly, it gets Zack Snyder on board. He did a hell of a job on Watchmen. So get him on board for Injustice and Doomsday Clock, and perfect. But G-Day, let's start with you.
You already started, so okay.
Outside of me, I'm not the interviewer. I mean, I'm not being interviewed.
It's not an interview, it's a conversation.
You're right. Gang.
But to be honest, it would be Injustice for me. I liked the story. I liked the video game, and I didn't read the comics, but I listened to them. And I know what happened. I would really like to see that play out as a lot in live action, but with none of the people who are like in Justice League currently. I want an entire new cast, and that's no disrespect to them. It's just like those are different versions. I'm not gonna lie, you're barely giving me the versions that you're trying to play. So I'd rather have a whole new cast of people trying to. I want an evil Superman. I don't want Henry Cavill. He's cool, but no, that's not what I want. I want someone who has who's able to express the pain of loss. And I don't think Henry Cavill is going to be able to do that since he's already played Superman and all that other stuff. And I don't know if there's another one. It might be going into Civil War 2 from Marvel. I would want to see that play out, especially because Captain Marvel is now in the MCU, so they can really do that. Only thing is, with Tony Stark being dead, if you haven't seen Endgame, you don't.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah. With Captain Marvel, I want to see how Civil War works, especially if you actually seen Far From Home. I mean, the last Spider-Man movie. I don't know if it was Far From Home. I think it was. But the ending, they revealed that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, so that can perfectly set up Civil War later on. And I want to see that happen.
Chris, what about you? What comic would you like to see adapted into live action?
I think the biggest thing that kind of jumps in my mind now is like Crisis on Infinite Earth / Infinite Crisis. Just because I feel like, of course, you'd have to build up to that, but I feel like that's just such a huge, that's like an endgame moment. Like when I picture for DC what endgame could be, that's what I picture it. Like you got all these different versions of all these superheroes. You've got deaths. You've got real consequences. The Flash is awesome. He's a hero who saves everyone. But I just feel like that would be really cool to see. Just like for me, that's the one. I sometimes forget stories after I read them, and I might just remember like bits and pieces, not like specific like arcs. But I always remember Infinite Crisis. I think is like the second Crisis. I don't know. There's so many. Just because I had that book, that was one of my first like comic books, and I just remember it was awesome seeing like all the different versions of Superman and stuff. So I think that would just be, if you build up to it correctly and not like 2 or 3 movies, I feel like that would be really cool and really emotional. Like that's a ride to see that. It would be awesome. Another one, I think Hush would be cool. They've been saying that the new Batman movie might kind of have basis on that. I know a lot of people say that one, but I just think Batman is, I don't want to say it's easy to make a Batman movie, but like, I guess maybe because he's human and it's like a detective thriller, it might be easier to make a Batman movie than like a Superman or a Flash movie, I guess. I just feel like, who doesn't like Batman? Like, it's just so cool to see him be a detective, use his fighting skills. It's just like has potential to have a lot of awesome moments in there. And I don't have a specific like storyline, but I would love to see Deathstroke live action versus Batman. Or it's not a comic, but it's a game. Not a lot of people like it for some reason. I never understood why, but Batman Origins, I feel like we've already seen a story, so maybe it wouldn't work. But I just really like that story of like Joker. He was really Black Mask and hiding. You've got Deathstroke, like something like that would be really cool to see. And then for last, Marvel, since I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like taking off, I'm excited to see where it goes next. Like G-Day said, Civil War is cool. Um, I guess and I don't read too many Marvel comics, but I don't know, just another one of those big events like leading up to um like what's this guy's name? Like Galactus comes or something. No, maybe not Galactus, maybe like Doctor Doom when he gets God powers or something. I don't know if they would do that, but like, he gets the God powers and he does the battle world. I just feel like those big type of stories like that, like universe and multiverse stories, would be really cool to see personally on in a movie.
Well, that leads into our next question, which is what character that has not appeared in a movie thus far, in a comic book movie, um, would you really, really want to see on the big screen? Chris. Well, G-Day, I mean, if you ready, if you got one.
Green Lantern.
Hey.
Because I don't count that movie with Ryan Reynolds. No one counts. Nobody counts that movie.
You don't speak about that. You don't speak about that.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I was just making jokes. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, yeah, I'd want to see a good Green Lantern movie. A good Green Lantern.
See Chris thinking about a good. He's like, is that even possible? Green Lantern hater.
But
Lanterns are better than speedsters, folks. Remember that.
Not Hal Jordan, John Stewart. Hal Jordan's kind of like. I mean, he's cool. He can like. I wanted to see him in a movie maybe, but not like as a main, not as the protagonist of the movie. Maybe he's there, but he's not. I don't want him to be the focus because everybody knows Hal Jordan. We know his origin story. People don't really know about John Stewart. Even though they know who he is, they don't know him. You know what I mean? Everybody, when you think of Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's the first person. I want John Stewart. And to be honest, I want also actually no that ties into Green Lantern. I want to see Sinestro as well. And maybe the Guardians. I don't know if they're gonna be. If I want to see that, how would they do that? I don't know. those are the two characters I'm really thinking that I want to see in the movie. I probably have more, but right now they're not coming to mind.
Chris, what about you?
I think the biggest one that really comes to mind again is Deathstroke. I mean, I just feel like I just always liked the character. I think he's badass, and I think it'd be really cool to see that on like in a movie. I don't know about the movie just being about him, like his origin story. But then again, they're giving everybody a movie nowadays. So I would rather watch like a Deathstroke movie than a movie about like the Trench. But if he's not gonna get his own solo movie, at least like him showing up in a significant role, I think I would like that a lot. I think that'd be really cool for me. That's like the biggest thing that comes to mind. Who hasn't had a movie yet? Force Flash would be cool, but Well, I feel like that's coming from me. I feel like that's the obvious.
Yeah.
But I just gotta throw it out there.
I'm surprised that neither of you said this, but my person would probably be the Red Hood. Let's get Jason Todd in there some way somehow. Jason Todd, Red Hood, and also Damian Wayne. I'm a DC guy, so I'm gonna throw DC people in there. If I had to pick one for Marvel, it would probably be. Let's see. It would probably be. I think a good story with Marvel could be. Actually, no, I would like to see Franklin Richards. I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how they would, utilize his powers and whatnot. But I would love to see Franklin Richards just unleashed. I feel like that'd be fun to watch. Very fun to watch.
Oh, that actually reminds me of something. I actually want to see them reboot the Fantastic Four.
Again?
Because like the first Fantastic Four that I saw was I think 2004. Those first two movies and the first one and the Silver Surfer one were good. I didn't see the reboot they did. And I heard it was doo doo. I don't wanna see that. But if you're gonna set up Franklin Richards, you might as well reboot the Fantastic Four, and then later down the line you can bring in Franklin Richards. But and then another character I'd actually like to see have a live action movie. Two of them actually is Black Lightning and Static Shock. You don't have enough black superheroes on the big especially Static Shock, because I remember the show. That show was lit, and I would like to see him on the big screen.
I feel like that's guaranteed. That's guaranteed ticket sales if you do Static Shock.
Or it could be DC's Black Panther.
Yeah, you do Static Shock and you bring back the cartoon series. That's a good move.
Yeah.
Then throw him in Injustice 3. That's a good move. That's a good move right there.
I think
we should start writing.
That brought up for me someone that I don't know how he's already had a movie. It was an okay movie. It didn't do great, but I would just love to see it again. Spawn. I think they've been talking about doing another movie, but it just seems like when is it going to come out? It's just they keep pushing it back. But I would love to see Spawn because he's just awesome. And he's another black superhero, You could put Michael J. White in it again. He was great. But I think that'd be a really cool person to see. And then when you were talking about Marvel, it reminded me, I know it's the previous question, but I just thought a really good story that I would want to see. One of the few Marvel stories that I've read, and then one that I actually really like, was the storyline where Cap is part of Hydra. I know a lot of people didn't like that when they were like, "Hail Hydra," but for me, I thought that was pretty cool. The ending was a little okay. It was weird. Not weird. It wasn't bad, but I just think that storyline as a whole, where you've got all this stuff going on, imagine if this whole time in the background of all these Marvel movies, you find out Cap has been working for Hydra. I feel like that'd be really cool because that's what happened in the comics, where the whole time through all of Civil War and all those other storylines, Cap in the background has been Hydra. So I think that'd be really cool. I don't know how they get it to work. People might not like it, but I think that's a cool storyline.
I feel like I know how that.
Ajita, you had something?
Yeah, cause you was talking about the storyline. I'm thinking how it could work, because you know how in the movies, in the last movie, how he went back with Peggy and everything. I remember I don't know, I think it was in a movie or it was in Agents of Shield. Shield was based, it's Hydra basically, so they could take him in the when he went back to the past and started living his life. You could probably they just, I guess, brainwash him sometime in the 50s or something, and then over time.
They could do that. It's something similar that they did in the comics, but they use this cosmic cube to rewrite his memories. But basically something similar with brainwashing. They could, if they really wanted to, keep moving forward. They could have either they clone him, but I feel like that'd be kind of. They could clone him, trying to make another one, and then he just works for Hydra. But that'd be. They could also use the Skrulls? I think it is, or the ones that shapeshift. They could also use them. That could lead into Secret Wars, I guess. But it's he's young again, and they're like, whoa, who's this young Cap? I don't know how they'd work it out, but that could be a direction that they go in.
This question, I feel like this question is the best question. Dream matchup. What is your dream matchup that you want to see on the big screen? I'm gonna start off first. Me, it's Dr. Manhattan versus anybody, and everybody. versus the late Stan Lee versus LeBron James. I don't care who anybody. I got Dr. Manhattan in 4. Okay, I got Dr. Manhattan in 4.
Dr. Manhattan, Mr. Queens, Brother Brooklyn, it don't matter.
Dr. Manhattan versus anybody. And I feel like we still haven't seen the Batman versus Superman matchup that we were supposed to see. So I'd want to see that. And I would also want to see Magneto in Marvel, like at Unleashed, like at his full potential. Because even in the X-Men movies, there were some of them I didn't see, of course. But from what I've seen, I didn't see him at his full capabilities, like in the comics. And actually, to touch up on the question we asked earlier about which comics I would like to see adapted into live action movies, I would have to say the Power and House of X of X-Men. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but that was a very good comic series. But yeah, to recap, Dr. Manhattan and Magneto Unleashed versus Magneto versus anybody.
You know what that just made me think about? I want to see DC Metal live action. That made me think, like, who would I want to see? And I thought about Batman versus the Flash. Because actually, I want to see Batman versus anybody. He has plans to kill the Justice League if they ever get out of the line. So I would want to see that. And then that brought me to thinking about DC Metal, like when Batman actually did fight Flash, and he became Red Death. That brought me to Batman Who Laughs. Now I kind of want to see him. I want to see him versus the Joker.
Oh.
That is something I want to see.
Sheesh, Chris.
I have a couple like that. Just my mind, I think would be cool. This might be cheating a little bit, but I guess like Avengers versus X-Men.
I want to see that.
I think that would have been cool. Like I would have loved to see. I don't know if they could make it happen anymore, but like, I mean, Hugh Jackman, he's Wolverine. I don't know how you recast that. I'm interested to see that, but him and Tony Stark, and Captain America, like on the screen at the same time, Magneto, like I just want to see the characters interact with each other. I'm just curious to see what that would look like. Another matchup is probably going to happen someday, but I do want to see Venom and Spider-Man. I don't know about this Venom, but not that he's bad, but it's just a different vibe. But I think Venom and Spider-Man would be cool to see. And then I had one more. You might have to come back to me. I lost that plot point. But dang. But yeah, those are some matchups that like I just want to see those characters interacting with each other. Oh, never gonna happen, but like DC and Marvel,
Yeah, DC versus that. Do you think that movie would sell more than Endgame?
Most definitely.
I want to say yes, because it's just so wild and out there. I just feel like the DC universe needs to like catch up in getting these iconic characters. Like you think of Iron Man, you think of Robert Downey Jr., you think Captain America, you think Chris Evans. Even outside of the MCU, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. Those are still Marvel characters. You don't really have that for DCU right now, like in the DCU. So I feel like that would be, once they get there where you get like a good actor, I guess Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I think I have as Aquaman now. Those are good starts. But once you get there, that would be good to see.
Chris, I have a question. Who's your Spider-Man?
Who's my I don't, it's tough to say because like they all have like things about them that are good. The short answer might surprise you. I don't know. I like the Tom Holland a lot. I think he's a good like mixture where he's got that young nerdy vibe to him, but he's also a good Spider-Man because he's got like the quips and stuff, and he just looks the part. I think he's good. But the other ones had good things too. Like what was it, the Amazing Spider-Man? I kind of liked his suit. I like the colors of it. I thought was kind of cool. He had some things like that I liked. And then the original Spider-Man, he does I feel like he was okay.
OG. He's the OG, bro. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's OG, you know. I don't know. But for me, I like Tom Holland the most. I feel like he's got like all the things combined. I'm excited to see his future.
You guys didn't mention this, but my dream matchup I want to see on screen. It's never gonna happen, but I want to see Heath Ledger's Joker, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and Jared Leto's Joker. In a triple threat match, bro. That's what I want to see. Yo, I gotta see that. I gotta see Jared Leto. Jared Leto needs another chance, man. Release the Suicide Squad cut. Release the Ayer cut. Hashtag, hashtag release the Ayer cut. Let's talk about the game room. So, are there any new ideas that like you've been thinking of for the game room when we return back to school? Like, are there any, like any focuses or events or anything like that you've been drawing up?
Yeah, obviously with everything that's going on in the news, with us having to be like socially distant, now keeping that in mind, I see more of like or hopefully somehow, because I'm obviously I'm not experiencing this, I'm not digital media or anything, but more of a focus somehow on like online presence. I feel like that's something that I've been trying to learn over the summer, is how to use an online platform and what it can do. I think that'd be cool. I don't know if it's entirely possible, but if we could move towards having like a game room channel. I've been watching more YouTube videos. I never really went on YouTube before, but I'm more bored now, so more YouTube videos. And I feel like that'd be cool. Every now and then we have a video. G-Day, what's your favorite video game or something? Flynn, what's your favorite character? What's a game you would want to see remade? I don't know, stuff like that. I feel like would be really cool. Even conversations like this, I think would be really cool, especially because they're pretty simple to do. I know like there's a lot of editing that goes into it, but if you just want to do like a simple like a video like this is simple to do and a good start, and it promotes like that. Being socially distant, we don't have to be together to do this. We can invite students into this to get input, and then doing more like online tournaments. So I think we're probably going to end up doing some kind of online tournament in the semester. Probably is going to be Brawlhalla, because I think that's the easiest and most accessible for everyone. I was looking into Warzone, but I feel like there might be some things that we need to work out first. What does a tournament look like? So Brawlhalla might be the easiest thing to do right now, but just more of that online presence and that interaction with people. Because right now, I don't feel like we have that interaction. We're kind of more the place, or we're a space, but we want to be more of like that place to go to. Let's go check out the gaming page, see what they're talking about today. So that's kind of my ideology. It'll take time to get there, but I want to take steps towards that.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I feel like just being online in general, given the circumstances, is like a huge opportunity that's just been shown to you. Like there's so many different ways you can interact with people, and especially through video games. And the game room isn't just video games. It's like pop culture, it's comics, it's music, it's sports, it's all that kind of in one place. So I feel like you could take it in any direction. And yeah, man, I like the ideas, bro. And you got the digital media team. Hit us up.
Shout out digital media.
Shout out. Get well, Lindsay.
Plug. Were those all your questions?
Oh no, I got a few more questions. I got a few more, just one or two more. Gita, do you have any event ideas? I know we've talked about some ideas, and like I feel like you have a real opportunity to really take the streaming thing to the next level. Because the game room is about games, and you already stream games, and even this video right now, I feel like is just like a lot of opportunity for content creation. So do you have any ideas?
I was gonna put this on the YouTube for game room. By the way, I'm creating the game room thing today. The game room YouTube.
Okay. Step in, Chris. Here we go.
Like I think all I need is the email password, and then all we gotta do is set it up, and then I don't think I have to edit this one, but I can just upload it.
Bet. Okay, last question. And this is gonna be a fun one. We're gonna go out with a bang here. If there was any change with no limitation that you can make to the game room, what would it be?
New consoles as soon as they come out.
Full space. You know, if we're talking no limitations, the wish, you know, if they happen to build a new building, which they might one day, I don't know, but a new like student center 2, I want a designated video game, well, not video game, but game room space, because the current game room, they kind of just had space, and they're like, this would be cool to have as an event space, and then we made it into the game room, but that wasn't the intention. So if they built a room with the intention of having it be, you know, for this, I think that'd be cool. Like you'd have the good ventilation system, everything. We could control that. That would be great. You know, like we'd have good connection to internet. So if we wanted to have people like PC gaming and stuff like that, that would be dope. We could have control over like, you know, we want this wall to be this color. We want this kind of furniture, you know, to make it more different than the rest of campus to give it that like unique feel. I think that would be really cool. And then of course, like making it big enough so we can actually do all kinds of events in it. So like TLDR, the easiest thing is just a bigger space that's like built intentionally for the game room. That'd be dope. You could even have a esports league, because I know that there's been talks about that on campus, but there's not really a space where I think of that we can effectively do that. So you build a space like that, you could do it in there. That'd be really dope. So
Sheesh, those are good ideas, man. I could tell you've been thinking about that with all the time on your hands. That's legit. It's interesting. I thought about this question the other day. I was walking in Walmart and I was walking past the games, and I looked to my left and I saw, you know, the little arcade setup, and I was like, you know what? That would be cool to have in the game room. That would be really cool to just have like a few arcade games laying around. Like I remember when I was younger, we used to go to the laundromat and they would have X-Men. That's how I was introduced. It was X-Men. It was Marvel vs. Capcom. That's how I was introduced to superheroes. So like I feel like that would be cool to have a little area dedicated to arcade gaming and different arcade games, because a lot of people are interested in that type of thing.
yeah.
So and they also have one for Injustice, and I said no limitations because that costs like $6,000. So I said no limitations, but that would be cool. That would be cool to have an Injustice arcade setup, and then like a DLC character be Dr. Manhattan, and I just like murk everybody. Like that would just be, you know what I'm saying, like a dream come true to me. Just me. But yeah, and you guys got anything else to say before we close this out?
Chris, do you have PlayStation Plus?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we play Call of Duty World War II.
Call of Duty.
I downloaded it. It's just I'm kind of behind on games right now, surprisingly. So I'm trying to like take my time and go. Like I've been playing this one game called Neo or Nio. I don't know how you say it, but that one is actually really fun. You're like a samurai in like old school Japan. It's pretty dope. I like it. It's like challenging. This is a different game than what I usually play, so that's dope. I've started playing Spider-Man for the PS4, and that's dope too. So I'm looking forward to beating it in time to one day play Miles Morales in the future.
He said one day.
Yeah, I'm not getting a PS5 right away. It's gonna be a while. So, yeah. Let's see, Modern Warfare. I bought it recently. I'm trying to get gold on all my guns. Every now and then I throw that in there. Those are just some of the games I'm playing right now. I got Uncharted. I'm glad they gave that to us for free. Battlefront 2. I'm glad they gave that to us for free. I'm glad we get all these free games, man. It's giving me something to do.
Shout out to PlayStation. Shout out to Sony.
Station.
Shout out to PS5. Endorse this. Endorse the game room. Let's get some sponsorships and endorsements.
Word.
I guess here's a question, slightly different. What's a game you would like to see, like come out on, I guess PS5 now, since that's the newest thing. And it doesn't have to be a game that like already exists. Like it doesn't have to be a remaster or a remake. It could be like a totally original idea. You know, like you want to see a game about Tony Stark, Iron Man. I don't know. It could be anything.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as you said remake, that made me think about this game that I have for PS3. It's called Afro Samurai. I want to see them remaster that. I want to see them remaster that. That game was lit. The anime was lit. Like the soundtrack was lit. I liked everything about the series.
That's dope.
I have a few. First, dream scenario is a Dr. Manhattan game. I know that's probably because we watched the PlayStation 5 reveal live, and the guy was talking about how they're gonna build these immersive worlds and open spaces, and like the environment's gonna be different, and they're gonna be able to do more with the space and with the technology. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get. And I'm looking at you, Chris. I'm looking at you. Now is the time, y'all. We need a Flash game. Now is the time. Now. There was supposed to be one that came out on the original Xbox, I believe, but that got canceled. That got canceled. But I feel like over the generations, with the technology changing, I feel like a Flash game could work. We've seen superhero games. We've seen games where characters had superpowers, like Saints Row, for instance. You can make a super fast character. Now, can you make Flash break the game? No, like he can't break the game, but I'm sure you can make a video game around Flash, around his superpower.
Most definitely you can, because the DC Universe Online, you can be a speedster. So
one more, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk always has a place in my heart. I don't know why, but Tony Hawk.
You want a new game or a remastered game? Because they're coming out with Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're coming out with I feel like that game is going to be amazing and look amazing, but just imagine what it looks like on a PS5 and like an open world.
What about Skate 4?
I'm drooling.
I would love to see Skate 4.
Skate 4, yeah. I don't know. I've been more of a Tony Hawk guy myself. Always been.
Also, you know what I want to see them remaster or create a new version of? NBA Street Volume 2. Bro, it's been too long.
Yeah.
Like, I want EA Big to come back, because those games are always fun. Like the snowboarding, NFL Street, FIFA Street, especially FIFA Street. You can just juggle on these people. I really enjoyed the EA Big games. I kind of wish they had made a comeback, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Especially with like 2K and stuff going on.
Yeah, they're playing it very safe. I feel like the most they would do is do like a little add-on in the game already, like throw in.
They did. With like Live 19, they put stretch in the game for street ball.
Stretch, yeah. I feel like that might be the most that they do. Just put it into a game that's already made. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what the 2K football game looks like. So, Chris, to answer your question, let's say a Flash game, a Tony Hawk game, and I say a 2K football game on PS5.
I think for me, I've always had these two games, classic games, that I want to see them remade, remastered, whatever, so that they can keep doing them. One of them is called Dino Crisis. Specifically the second one, because that's the one I grew up with. Basically, a lot of people say it's like Resident Evil, just with dinosaurs. Which that's the first one is like that. The second one is more like run and gun kind of with dinosaurs. I don't know, but it's really dope. I would love to see them like bring that back, remaster it just like they did Resident Evil 1 and 2, and then like continue the story, because they never. I've had this, they left it on such a way where I want to see them continue the story. And that game came out, I don't know how long ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So Dino Crisis for me, I want to see it like remade. The second game, probably never heard of it either. It's called Legend of Dragoon, and it's an RPG game for the PS1. I played. That was one of my first games besides Spyro that I ever played, like ever. And it's man, that game is just it's deep. It's awesome. It's amazing. It would look great on PS5. I want to see them remaster it and then make that a whole series. I feel like there's money there. There's cash money there. And then in terms of like, I guess just new games that I would want to see, Flash would be cool. I don't know how they do. I can't picture it myself, but I feel like that would be really dope to see that. And then some other kind of superhero game. Like we've seen Arkham is really good. We've seen Spider-Man is really good. I'm ready to see what other, superhero besides Flash that they can throw in and like make a game about. What if they made a game about? And this is crazy. What if they made a game about Suicide Squad, but like you go on the missions and it's like, I don't know how it would look, but you are able to switch between the characters. Not like the Marvel Alliance games, but it's like actual like first or third person, kind of like Batman. You take control of Harley or whoever is in the squad, and each person has a different perspective of the mission, and like you can make different decisions in each mission with each character that might affect, maybe Harley ends up dying in this mission because of something you did. I don't know. That would be massive. That'd be crazy. But something like that would be really dope, I feel like. So those are my, ideas I'm just throwing out there. So whoever, EA, maybe not EA, but some other company, Rocksteady or someone, make these games, make it happen. Square Enix.
Definitely not EA, bro. Definitely not EA.
I need a new Infamous.
Oh, facts. Definitely. I thought the Miles Morales reveal was a new Infamous game. But...
And I need a new Burnout. I'm tired of Paradise, bro.
Please. I think EA did make Burnout, or some company under EA or whatever made Burnout. Please, if you're watching this video,
yeah, that's legit all I want. Paradise was a great game, but it's run its course. It's out of gas. There's no gas station. Come on.
Yo, bro. No offense, Chris, but I will quit my job for that game. I'll quit my job, bro. I'll quit my job, bro.
I'll quit one of my jobs too. You know which
one. He didn't say which one though.
You know which one.
Oh man.
No more slinging Krabby Patties.
Well, all right, fellas. This concludes this conference. Those are very good. This is very good. I enjoyed this. We gotta have you back on, Chris. We gotta have you back on.
Oh, Shrek. That's my last thing. I played a Shrek game once. It was a fighting game.
I know what you're talking about too.
It was called. That game was dope. It was fun. Bring it back.
I know
Which
exactly
Shrek? Was the second one? Was the second one the Party Bash or something like that?
Yeah.
I think so. It was something like that. I played it a long time ago, and it was like the only one of its kind that I've seen. Bring it back. I don't know why. It's a fun concept. Bring it back.
Yeah, a remake of Jack and Daxter, that would be cool too.
And Revolt. The ideas just keep coming. This is the last one, I promise. There's one game called Revolt that I played I was a PC gamer first before I had a console. I played this game called Revolt. They had it in Dave & Buster's for a limited time, but basically you play these RC cars and you race, but you can get power-ups and stuff and, I don't know, like shoot people with firecrackers and like throw water balloons at people. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
That sounds familiar.
So some kind of racing game. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but something like that, where you can like, I don't know, shoot things at each other. There was another, I think it was kind of racing, but it was like wrestling too, where each car was like a different wrestler. I don't remember what it was called, but it was pretty dope. I remember. That would get me back. I don't play racing games a lot, but that would get me back in it.
Is this the game, Shrek Super?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Shrek Super Slay. I'm about to watch. I'm about to watch it.
Oh man.
I'm about to see what this is like. It kind of looks like Smash a little bit. Not Smash. A little bit. It reminds me of Power Stone. We need a new Power Stone game. Is that what it's called? Power Stone? Do y'all remember Power Stone?
I don't think so.
That's before y'all's time. That's before y'all's time. That was Dreamcast. That's before y'all's time.
Hey man, I had a Dreamcast like 2 days.
2 days. Y'all don't remember Power Stone? What? No Power Stone? Y'all don't remember Power Stone? Are you serious? That's Goku. Why is Goku in this video? Okay. All right. Either way. That's the end of our video. Thank you for everyone who's watched, especially to this point. Thank you for Chris for you know what I'm saying, like just taking over the game room, bro, and keep leading. You're a great leader, bro. Keep doing your thing. G-Day, I see you with the streams. I see you. Hey, bro, we got to start winning in Call of Duty, though. We got to start winning.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're gonna stream on Twitch tonight.
Bet.
Chris, if you want to join, let me know.
Call of Duty, do you all play on?
World War II.
All right. I haven't played it yet. I have it downloaded. So I'll check it out.
All right, cool.
Hop on it. All right, fellas.
My followers, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Follow NordVPN and Raid Shadow Legends or whatever there are sponsors.
All right, I'm about to end this.
That's clever.